Welcome back to Dynamon. Infinite Inferno and Devine Paradise are some of my favorite dungeons in all of Yokai Watch, and I felt like a summarized video about these places was missing on YouTube. The community post then proved that this video idea was very popular, so let's see if this gets uploaded before a certain Yokai Watch video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more Yokai Watch content and comment your opinion about Infinite Tunnel and Devine Paradise. Also feel free to suggest new video ideas. Before I can start with the Infinite Inferno, we need to look at the way you unlock it. In Yokai Watch 1, after completing the main story, Whisper tells you that the seal around the Infinite Inferno got weakened, and warns the player that if a certain trapped yokai gets awakened, he could destroy the human world. Then he informs you that a rich man would have more information. The rich man he referred to is Mr. Stone, living in a mansion in the north of Breezy Hills. In order to obtain the key, you need to talk to him, and he tells you about a hut located west of the tunnel in Blossom Heights, always appearing in his dreams. As soon as you want to leave, his wife approaches you and informs you about an unsettling aura coming off the hut. Apparently, she can see yokai as well, but her and her husband weren't brave enough to go inside the hut after finding the key. That's why she gives Nate the key, and now you have the right to enter the Infinite Inferno, which was blocked during the main story. In Yokai Watch 2, the way you get this key is very similar, but this time Jibanyan appears after defeating Dame Dedzime, and he tells you about a broken seal which causes the time to pass in a loop. Then he refers to the same mansion where you got the key in Yokai Watch 1, where you need to talk to Mr. Stone and his wife. Now we have reached the Infinite Inferno. It appears like a dark, mysterious place and creates an unsettling, eerie atmosphere, and many areas are placed apart from each other, which you can enter through shoji doors or ladders. The Infinite Inferno has a total of 8 circles, each containing different yokai and one boss, who is a recolor of the Yokai Watch 1 main story boss, except for Wobblewok. The first boss you will fight is Aetra, who looks like a darker version of Slimamanda, and here the fight works the same because you have to guess which one of his heads has the opened eye in order to deal damage to him. Moreover, after beating him, at least in Yokai Watch 1, you will find yourself in Terror Time, which is essential to be completed in order to unlock the next circle. This feature though isn't a part of Yokai Watch 2 anymore. The second boss you will fight is Hoggles, who is a darker version of Sproink. His mechanics are the same like the ones Sproink has as well. The boss of the third circle is Styx MK6, who is the recolor of SV's Negajack. He is able to spawn his fish helpers as well. In the middle of the fourth circle, which consists of many small quadratic areas connected by doors, we will find Calypso, who is Massive Face's recolor. The fifth boss you need to beat is Dr. No Good, a harder version of Dr. Mediman. Here, the order of the bosses isn't the same as in the main story anymore. After beating him, the player is next up against Booklang, Phantasmarai's recolor, and by this time you may have noticed that Tyrant Tutor got left out. This means that he is the only main story boss of Yokai Watch 1 who doesn't have a darker recolor, who's a boss in the Infinite Inferno. The second to last boss is the main story boss Mc Kraken, better said Squiska, and after you defeated him, you will see a ladder leading down to the 8th circle. After walking down the bridges, you will see a trapped yokai, whose seals are not closed as if they should. And after Whisper wakes him up by accident, the player will battle Wobblewok, who is the final boss of the Infinite Inferno. He is the ruler of the Infinite Inferno, and seems to be the yokai you got informed about after completing the main story. His seals got weakened, which has the consequence that he could destroy the human world, and that's the reason the player has to beat this boss in the first place. Unlike the previous bosses, Wobblewok is a new one, having new mechanics. For example, you can't deal physical or elemental damage to him. At the same time, you need to be aware of his eye color. In Yokai Watch 1, Whisper closes the seal again, making you complete the Infinite Inferno. However, in Yokai Watch 2, a blue string will spawn after you close the seal again, leading to a new area, but before we talk about it, we need to look at some other information about Infinite Inferno. In Yokai Watch 1, you can befriend some rare yokai here. These are Steady King for the 2nd circle, Azure Dragon for the 4th circle, Sandy for the 6th circle, and Blue Minoko as well as Valteria Abdinex for circle number 7. The main yokai you want to befriend here in Yokai Watch 2 is Wobblewok. In order to befriend him, you need an item called Ghostly Goo, which he drops rarely. Then you need to put the Ghostly Goo inside the kettle in past Springdale area where the Infinite Inferno is located nowadays. On a side note, in Yokai Watch 2 Psychic Specters, there's a quest named Tamer of Time, which takes place in the Infinite Inferno. You will find Dame Dedzime trapped in the timeout room, holding the great villain of time. The timeout room looks to be located even deeper than the final circle to me. Then you will travel back in time, but after coming back, you will be stopped by King, Gin and Bronzelo. After beating the bosses, Bronzelo only had a pause stone left instead of a time zone, which opens the gate to Dame Dedzime. You will now find out a lot about her past, and she regrets her actions. Now she's reborn as Dame Dedzime, so it means she isn't evil anymore and isn't in the prison. When climbing up the string, you will find yourself in a place looking similar to the Infinite Inferno, yet symbolizing a huge contrast. The tatami mats are now golden instead of black, and the background is full of golden gleam. Instead of going deeper, you now need to climb higher up, which shows that Devine Paradise is the home of Arachnia and not of your Yokai Watch, since this place is located above the Infinite Inferno in Yokai Watch 2. Similar to the Infinite Inferno, you will be fighting the recalls of some bosses you already beat in the Yokai Watch 2 main story. The first boss is Captain Rex, who resides in the first circle of the Devine Paradise. He's basically a red version of Captain Crash and is able to control your yokai wheel as well. Next up are Flipper and Flopper, who are Kin and Jin's recolor. They can also use a time stone in order to revive once one of them died. Dame Dreadful can lower your yokai's levels, just like Dame Dedzime did it in the main story. She's the last burden before finishing your final task. After beating her, you will come across a massive string in the middle of the 4th circle, which brings you to Kat Kraydel, the final boss of Yokai Watch 2. When meeting her, she wants to play a game called Kat's Kraydel. The German version of this game is translated to String Game, which perfectly describes her intentions. She obviously controls all of the strings below her and has power above the yokai in the Devine Paradise and Infinite Inferno. She probably uses them as marionettes. Even though there are some teams to beat her fairly easily, she can be seen as the strongest boss of Yokai Watch 2, since she can just use every elemental attacks, hitting all of your yokai at the same time, lock your yokai wheel, or inspirit all your yokai, making them kill your friends. As soon as she uses her ultimate, there's not much you can do. Therefore, you need to knock out her eyes, which weakens Kat Kraydel, while each defeated eye deals 800 damage. If you manage to beat her, you wake up like if it was all a dream, and when coming back, you notice that the string is gone, forcing you to complete Infinite Inferno and Devine Paradise all over again, and if you do this 100 times, you will receive a well-deserved silver trophy. Sadly, in Yokai Watch 3, both Infinite Inferno and Devine Paradise don't exist anymore. They got replaced by the Tower of Zenlightement, but Infinite Inferno is still found in the data files. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and if you are interested in watching more Yokai Watch content, I will recommend these videos. Also comment your opinion about Infinite Inferno and Devine Paradise.